The Barbados Water Authority says there's absolutely no truth to the rumor that deadly levels of lead are running through Barbadian pipes. The BWA's PRO, Joyanne Haig, says even as we speak, scientific proof is being prepared for the public to refute these claims. She said a joint statement will soon be released from the BWA, the Environmental Protection Department, or EPD, the Ministry of Health, and the manufacturer of the island's new water meters. Speculation spread further on social media this week that lead produced by the faulty meters is causing sudden collapses and deaths. We'll have that joint statement from the BWA, the EPD, Ministry of Health, and the meter manufacturer as soon as it becomes available. Barbadians are being reminded to keep their surroundings clean and be mindful and careful in their homes to prevent fires. This from Acting Chief Fire Officer Errol Maynard as he expressed concern about the number of house fires so far for 2016. He says as of midnight Tuesday night, there were 48 house fires for the year, an increase of 4 over the same period for last year.
The service has responded to 48 dwelling fires up to midnight yesterday. That is 4 more than the same period, corresponding period last year. This is of grave concern to us because the 48 plus homes that have been disrupted or destroyed is only a bit of it. But we also have the economic and the social displacement of our other brothers and sisters.
Officer Maynard says the Barbados Fire Service is working with the Government Information Service to create fire prevention programs, and they'll be visiting communities to educate Barbadians on fire safety and prevention. He also cautioned road users to reduce their speed and be vigilant on the roads. Officer Maynard says the fire service has responded to 39 serious motor vehicle accidents so far this year.
Barbados records approximately 7,000 road accidents a year. The 39 mentioned previously is only the accidents that the fire service respond to. And this normally involves persons who are entrapped in their vehicles, and as a result, there's much pain, suffering, and sometimes death.
Emergency rescue services in Barbados have received welcomed assistance in their efforts to save lives. The Rotary Club of Barbados West, through the Xavier Mansour Jaws of Life Fund, has donated a Hearst Jaws of Life rescue tool to the Barbados Fire Service. The Jaws of Life Fund was formed 2.5 years ago in honor of Xavier Mansour, who was the victim of a car crash. Hydraulic rescue tools are used to cut through a vehicle's frame so injured people can be removed as safely and quickly as possible. Ambulance officer Andrew Brathwaite says time is critical in rescue operations and can make the difference between life and death for the injured.
One of the areas that we are very concerned about is our response time, because we recognize that we need to get our patients out of the wreckage in quick time in order to assess them at the scene by the ambulance personnel and to ensure that they get to hospital during that golden hour principle in order to have the needed care in order to save their lives.
In addition to the Jaws of Life tool valued at over $30,000, the Xavier Mansour Fund, through the Barbados Rotary Club, will be working with the emergency rescue services to provide improved paramedic training and are looking to improve communications from accident scenes to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Patrons attending this year's Pan Fusion will be greeted by the sweet songs of Brazilian samba queen Ana Costa. The singer, who will be one of the main attractions at the Pan event, is a gift from the Brazilian Embassy in celebration of Barbados' 50th anniversary of independence. Speaking during a press conference with the sponsors of the event, Minister at the Embassy of Brazil, Fernando Mugliati, says bringing the Brazilian is also part of his country's 100th year of samba.
The Brazilian government is celebrating this year 100 years of samba in Brazil. And as a result of that, we chose some countries in order to celebrate with us this event. and Barbados was among the countries chosen. And so my colleague and Diana from here, they thought that the good moment for it will be this Pan-Fusion celebration.
Chief Executive Officer of the National Cultural Foundation, Cranston Brown, says the inclusion of Anna Costa shows how much the event has grown.
This year we are happy to have the Brazilian embassy coming on board and playing their part. And we actually had a call from a group in Trinidad as well, asking to be on the card. So that is the kind of event it has grown into, where we are now actually getting calls from artists wanting to be a part of the Pan-Fusion event.
And event producer Karen Pastena says this year's edition will be even bigger, and patrons can also look out for a Bajan international artiste.
There are some surprise international artists. I never say everything that's happening for Pan-Fusion because I believe seeing is believing, so everyone has to be there, but we have a Bajan international artist coming in that will be performing with Arturo, so I'm looking forward to that.
Minister of Industry, International Business, Commerce and Small Business Development, Donville Innes, has expressed concern over what he sees as the inability of some small and medium businesses to think globally. He says these business owners are not seeing the big picture and should think outside the box.
I'm deeply concerned that too many of us believe that the world begins and ends in Barbados. And that is a recipe for disaster. There's a whole world out there that we must conquer and get a piece of. We don't want all of it, but there's enough to go around. And I would like Barbadians to really and truly stop. I can't say complaining, that may be politically incorrect. But perhaps to open our minds and be bold and say, let us go outside and get some of these consultancies and some of these work.
Mr. Innes was speaking at the launch of the Barbados Coalition of Service Industries' new Export Incubator Services Unit. That unit aims to bring selected small and medium enterprises, or SMEs, in the service industries up to export standard. Expressing confidence in the abilities of Barbadians, he encouraged the SMEs to develop their services with an export focus.
We are bright, we are competent, and we must never lose faith in ourselves. And the government, we as ministers, and we as a government, have a duty to help take some of you Barbadians out into the regional and international arena and get some of the work done. But of course, you have to be export ready.
Barbadians need to change their mindset regarding failure of business enterprises. This is the view of Labour Minister, Senator Dr. Esther Bayersuku. She says this has stagnated the growth of innovation in Barbados significantly by producing a crop of people who are too afraid to take entrepreneurial chances.
Unless we allow our children to fail, and even fail miserably, and know that from that they have learned and they can pick up and start again. And you know, we know that all the great inventions, I don't think any of them were made and successful the first try.
And Senator Bayersuku says parents need to buy into the concept of research and innovation, and that's the only way society will change the negative mindset of failure.
We have to ask our parents and our teachers to come alongside and teach them that failure is not a negative thing, but failure is a part of a process. We are human beings, and failure is just a step on the road. It is a part of the process, and until we start to look at failure like that, we will have a society that is afraid to innovate, a society that is afraid to explore opportunities, a society that is afraid to go beyond the boundaries that we have currently designed and limited and demarcated for ourselves.
The Barbados Revenue Authority advises that licensing services at all of its locations have resumed after the licensing system in the Pine was affected by a power outage in the area yesterday. Communications Officer Erica Lazar explained that no licensing transactions could be processed at any of the authority's locations as a result of the outage. However, all other transactions were facilitated at the authorities' locations in Bridgetown, Weymouth, Warrens and Whole Town. She said payment sections at the Treasury Building and Whole Town will open at 7:30 a.m. as usual, while the branch at the Weymouth Corporate Centre will open from that time today to accommodate customers' payments, now that the licensing services have resumed. Ms. Lazar also noted that the Barbados Licensing Authority's card printing services are available at the Pine and in Oistins. We'll have regional and international news after this break. Stay with us.